Remember back in 2018, when then U.S. President Donald Trump imposed heavy sanctions on the Chinese tech giant Huawei? The U.S. government accused Huawei of espionage and having close ties to the Chinese state, claiming that the company's 5G equipment posed a significant security risk. Many in the West viewed the rise of Chinese companies like Huawei as intertwined with the Chinese government's power and its techno-authoritarianism. As a result, the U.S. banned Huawei's networking equipment from its 5G networks and persuaded other countries, including the UK, Canada, and Australia, to do the same. On top of that, Huawei's CFO, Meng Wanzhou, who is also the daughter of the company's founder Ren Zhengfei, was arrested in Canada at the US's request. She was accused of misleading HSBC about Huawei's relationship with a company called Skycom, which could have led the bank to violate U.S. sanctions on Iran. After nearly 3 years in detention, Meng was finally released, but by then, the damage from U.S. sanctions had already taken its toll on Huawei. By 2022, Huawei's profits had plummeted by nearly 70% due to the combined impact of sanctions and pandemic-related challenges. The company was even forced to sell its sub-brand, Honor, to avoid sinking further under U.S. trade restrictions that cut off its access to American components and Google services. However, despite these significant challenges, Huawei made a surprising comeback in 2023. Their revenue surged by almost 10%, with the consumer segment, including smartphones, experiencing a strong rebound. Recently, there are rumors that Huawei is set to release a new AI chip to compete with nvidia, with companies like TikTok's parent, ByteDance, Baidu, and China Mobile already showing interest. So, how did Huawei manage to grow and bounce back despite facing such heavy sanctions from the US, the world's largest economy? In this video, we'll delve into the secrets behind Huawei's success and explore how they thrived under such tough circumstances. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel Xrainer to show your support. Huawei always has a plan B. The US dominates the tech world with giants like Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple leading the way. It's hard to think about mobile devices without these brands, especially Google. But Huawei is breaking through all the barriers and finding a way to do just that. When Google decided to cut Huawei off from its Android operating system, it posed a massive challenge for the Chinese tech giant. How could they keep up with the competition without access to the platform that powers almost every smartphone in the world? This move could have been a major setback for Huawei's overseas smartphone business. Without immediate access to future Android updates, their next-gen phones would have to go without essential services like the Google Play Store, Gmail, and YouTube. But Huawei was prepared. Just 3 months after being placed on the Entity List, they unveiled Harmony OS at their first developer conference in Dongguan in August 2019. It turns out they had been working on it since 2012. Richard Yu, the CEO of Huawei's consumer business group, revealed that they had been preparing their own operating system for years, just in case they were ever blocked from using Android. Now, Harmony OS is proving to be more crucial to Huawei than ever before. Huawei's edge in the domestic market. Huawei isn't just making a big comeback in China, it's also close to overtaking Apple in the world's largest smartphone market. The Shenzhen-based company, which has been at the center of growing tensions between Washington and Beijing, saw its smartphone sales in China soar by 70% year-on-year in the first quarter, while Apple's sales dropped by over 19%, according to Counterpoint Research. Apple, which led China's smartphone market with nearly a 20% share in the first quarter of 2023, has now slipped to third place. Its market share has dropped to 15.7%, while Huawei's has surged from 9.3% last year to 15.5%. China is far ahead of other countries when it comes to smartphone users, with over 950 million people owning a smartphone. The Chinese market is larger than those of India, the US, and Indonesia combined, which is why companies like Apple need to focus on Chinese consumers. However, this also gives Huawei a significant edge over other phone brands in China. Most consumers in China don't use Google Apps, as the government has banned access to major U.S. internet companies. Huawei's smartphones are packed with highly localized services and apps, so Chinese consumers aren't affected by the U.S. ban. In fact, the ban has fueled a sense of nationalism around Huawei. The ongoing U.S.-China tensions have sparked patriotism among Chinese consumers, leading many to choose local brands like Huawei. This explains why Apple's sales are falling while Huawei's are rising. The U.S. has been targeting China by restricting access to key hardware that companies like Huawei rely on. But Huawei isn't backing down. Their latest smartphone, the P70, is an iPhone competitor powered by the same 7nm processor as the Huawei Mate 60 Pro, which made headlines last year for breaking free of U.S. sanctions. Unlike the Mate 60 series, which used NAND flash memory chips from SK Hynix, the P70's memory chip is reportedly designed in-house by Huawei's own HiSilicon team. Additionally, Huawei is rumored to be launching a new AI chip to compete with nvidia, despite the U.S. sanctions aimed at slowing down the company's tech advancements. All of this points to one thing. The U.S. sanctions on Huawei have not only failed, but may have backfired. Huawei hasn't just survived, it's thriving, while Apple's sales in China are slowing down. So, what do you think? Will Huawei continue to grow and reclaim its spot as one of the top smartphone makers in the world? Share your thoughts and leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to show your support.